Hi, so my name is Jasmine. I am a pre-law major, and one of my main areas of interest is immigration law. I intern at an immigration center and assist them with the cases. And also, this last summer, I spent the entire summer researching the 3 and 10 year IRA bars, and that is what my presentation is going to be about today. First, we are going to discuss what the IRA bars are, what my research question was, and my methodology, and finally my results. So, first of all, I'm going to give you a scenario. So, we're going to call this man George. George came into the US like 20 years ago. He had an unlawful entry. He now has an entire family, though, and he is married to a US citizen. Therefore, in theory, he should be able to adjust his status, but he will not be able to due to the 3 and 10 year IRA bars. So, what are these bars? Basically, these bars state that if an undocumented immigrant accrues 180 days of unlawful presence in the U.S., they will be barred from re-entering 3 years. If they accrue 1 year of unlawful presence, they will be barred from re-entering for 10 years. That is what this does. Okay, so my thesis and research question. My main point, the main focus of this research was to find what obstacles, if any, do the 3 and 10 year bars pose an undocumented immigrant's decision to pursue legal status. The way I researched this is I recruited participants through immigration centers. I had a total of 8 participants, which wasn't a lot, but it was just very difficult to actually get people to, one, share their stats with me and be willing to do research or help me with my research. The participants included 6 males, 2 females. 6 of these were spouse-based petitions, meaning it was a spouse petitioning for his wife or for her husband. And 2 child-based petitions means that these were kids petitioning for they were 21-year-olds petitioning for their parents. The interviews were conducted either through Zoom or through the phone. Some interviews were either in English and others were in Spanish, and they just included narrative questions such as like why you came to the US, how long you've been here, have you ever tried adjusting status, what was that like? Methodology. After these interviews were conducted, I transcribed all of them, identified common themes and differences among their responses. And here were my findings for spouse-based petitions. So for spouses, they do have the option to file a waiver where their husband or wife does not have to return to their country of origin for their 3 or 10 years to become a resident. But a lot of them were very reluctant to file the waiver because it is expensive. And it also has a 54% approval rate, which isn't too high considering the money they're going to invest in it, like for the application, but also for their attorney. And this waiver is only approved if you can prove your citizen spouse, would suffer extreme hardship if you were to be sent away. And some of these couples simply had no hardship. For a child-based petition, there is no waiver for their parents, meaning the only way they could possibly adjust their parent status is by joining the military. And if they don't do that, then their parents will continue living undocumented for forever. A lot of people are simply unwilling to return to their country of origin for 3 or 10 years because they've already established their lives here, right? They don't want to endure this prolonged separation from their family. They have their employment here, and that's a really big reason why people come to the US in the first place. They come to work. So finally, what do these bars imply? These bars discourage and in a way deter people, not deter, but just prevent them from being able to become a U.S. permanent resident in the U.S. It leads to family separation and to something called mixed status families, where some of them are citizens and others are undocumented. And really what it shows is that these bars are ineffective. They were meant to deter illegal immigration into the U.S. and decrease the undocumented population, and somehow they have actually increased the amount of undocumented individuals we have in the US, and there is a need to reform these bars. And until we do so, then we are going to have like the 10 million immigrants that undocumented immigrants living in the US, they're not going to have a pathway to residency. Thank you. And here are my citations. Thank you.